We are approaching the end of the year. The new year is around the corner, and now is the time to set your business goals and map out your business plans for the year ahead. If you do not set business goals or map out your plans for your business ahead of time, and you are an aspiring business owner preparing to launch in 2025, an existing business owner struggling to make consistent sales, or a burned out entrepreneur who knows they could be working smarter, not harder, you absolutely need today's video because I am going to share with you 3 tools and processes that I use to plan for my business. And I'm actually going to give you one of them today so you can get started making your business plans for the new year. Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. If this is your first time with me, I would like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I help ambitious women plan for a balanced and successful life and business, and that is what we are going to be talking about today, planning for a balanced and successful business in the new year. So business planning and goal setting. If you are not someone who already does this, I want you to know that you are absolutely doing yourself a disservice and holding your business back from gaining more leads, more sales, and a greater impact. I'm sure some of you might be thinking that you would set goals for your business or make business plans if and when your business gets to a specific level. But actually, you should be doing this even before you start your business or launch it formally. And the reason is because we know that when you set goals, you end up having targets and specific outcomes to work towards, and you can track them and measure them. And when you make plans, you are more organized, you use your time better, and you get better results than if you were just to wing it, right? So let me tell you, I consider myself, right, a feminine energy style business owner, right, who does lead with my feelings, and I do experience like bouts of extreme creativity. And because of that, I like to leave room in my business plans for me to go with the flow, to use inspired actions and ideas, but I still benefit from having a solid plan in place that I can operate off of in case my creativity and inspiration isn't hitting the way that I want it to. Now, I really want to tell you ladies a little story that illustrates the importance of business planning specifically for me. So, as you guys know, I am a planning and productivity business person, right? You know that from the inception of my business, I have been setting goals, making plans, and developing my own tools and processes to follow. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, I did not have a set plan in place for my business in 2024. I know, shock and horror, right? Essentially, last December, I got sick with the flu, and it lasted an entire month from mid-December to mid-January. I was completely unable to fully function. I wasn't just a little bit sick, I was sick. I needed to be resting most of the day. And because of that, I needed to funnel what little energy I had each day into making it through the end of December for my business. So I was not able to go through my full goal setting and business planning process. I did have some things that were penciled in for January, and unfortunately, because I was sick in January still, I had to just cross those things off of my list. And once I got better, I figured that instead of making a plan, I would just wing it. And when I had time, I would go back and make my plan, right? But honestly, winging it is so much harder than just setting goals and creating a plan. Winging it means that there is no structure, and without structure, your ideas are all over the place. And for me, having a plan in place just feels more secure, and that's what helps me to know what work I need to show up and do each day, and it helps me to show up confidently that if I get these things done that I've planned, my work and my effort are building momentum. They're adding up, and they're bringing me closer to my goals every day. So honestly, the first half of the year just felt so disorganized to me, and I didn't do a whole bunch of things that I thought I was going to do with that time, which ended up affecting my revenue, of course. So during the summer, I ended up finally taking the time to map out my plans for the second half of the year. And honestly, Isn't it just so interesting that when you have a plan, things tend to go according to that plan? Who would have thought it? So that whole experience really solidified for me that I should not try to wing it in my business. And in fact, I made sure this year to start prepping my business for 2025 earlier, which gave me more time to work through my planning processes and be a little bit more thoughtful and intentional with what I want to create in my business next year. So now do you see why you should be setting goals for your business and breaking those down into business plans for the year? I know sometimes it feels like goal setting when your business is new is just like wishful thinking, but when you have reliable tools and processes to follow, the process becomes formulaic and you can begin to see how your actions directly affect your results. So next, I want to talk to you about 3 tools and processes that I use to set my goals and make business plans for the year. My entire intention for this video is to help inspire any of you out there who are not setting business goals and not taking the time to plan things out to really get started with those processes. And I'm hoping that discussing the tools and processes that I use will help inspire you to take action and put together a plan for your business in the new year so that you can experience more success, accomplishment, and of course, revenue. The first process or step in my business planning and goal setting system is, can you guess? It's a brain dump. That shouldn't surprise any of you who've been with me for a while. The first step to creating any plan is always to get your thoughts and ideas out of your head and onto paper. Now, in order for me to have a very successful brain dump session, one where I specifically target business ideas, I use my first tool, which is the CEO Business Brain Dump Triggers List. So this is a list of prompts or triggers, topics, and categories related to business that I use to make sure that I'm capturing as much relevant information as possible. So this triggers list is a free tool that you can download right now and use to help you get started with your business planning. And I'll leave a link down below where you can access it. It's wonderful because this simple tool actually helps you to understand what you should be planning for in your business, all of those different elements. So if you're wondering what it is that you should be planning for, let's review the file. So the first thing you should be planning for are your products or your offers. So what you sell or how you earn income into your business. Next is list building, which is how you attract your leads. Then marketing, how you tell your leads what you offer so you can make sales. And then comes development, how you want to build your business and work on yourself as a business owner. And then on the second page, we have content, which are the messages that you publish about your business and your offers. Admin, which is how your business operates. Financial, how you're managing funds. And then I have a little category of other for you to use to kind of fill in any specific prompts or categories that may be unique to your business that are not accounted for in the document. So you can see for each of these categories here, we have like specific prompts to use. So like in products, it says new offers, existing offers, collaborative projects, future projects, edits, updates, upgrades. And then we have some open spaces where you can actually, again, fill in the blank for your own products or offers for anything that isn't like covered in what I've created in this triggers list. So this triggers list, I think, is really meant to cover a wide variety of different businesses. But if you have specific product triggers that you want to use for your brain dump purposes, feel free to customize this and fill in your own triggers as well, right? So then we have the list building, which has strategies, lead magnets, opt-ins, content, graphics, lead pages, email list, right? Then marketing has a whole set of prompts for you to use, and development, and of course, the second page, the content, admin, financial. Right? So these are all little prompts that you can use to help trigger ideas for you to be recording so that you capture and create as many ideas on paper as possible. So next, let's talk about like how you would actually sit down to use this file. So first, I recommend that you set aside a block of time to perform your brain dump uninterrupted. And I think at least 30 minutes is like a minimum, but you could totally sit down for more like an hour. And I think that would be best because usually what happens with me when I start a brain dump is that all of the ideas come out of me and And then I naturally start like organizing the ideas and planning them out a little bit more. And it's a very like creative and productive session for me, right? So first, set aside time for you to work on this brain dump uninterrupted. Very important. Start reviewing the list and noting down any ideas that come out in as much detail as you could provide. You can do this by hand by writing everything down with pen and paper, or you can do it in a digital notes app. I tend to do this digitally myself because it's easier for me to go in depth in my responses if I'm typing, and I don't have to worry about like running out of space on a page. I also like to make sure that I keep the answers to these categories kind of like blocked together. So if I'm brain dumping the products or my offers, right, I keep those together, right? I keep the list building ideas together and the marketing ideas together. This just helps when I'm going back and reviewing the information to have all my ideas and options of a specific type kept together. And I also write everything down. Even if I come up with an idea and I don't think it's the best, I still list it down anyway. I make no final judgments on my ideas while I'm brain dumping. I just kind of turn on the faucet and let everything flow out. You know, I bet there are many of you out there watching this right now who want to start a business or have started one as a hobby, but you feel like you don't know enough to really dig in and build your business the way that you want it. And honestly, using a tool like this brain dump list will really start to show you how much you really do already know about business and strategy and all the great creative ideas that you have inside you, because it's helping to bring those ideas out of you. You'll be blown away by all of the brilliant ideas that come out of you when you start going through this business brain dump process. Now, once you are done the brain dump, you'll want to keep this information to help you with your goal setting. I never throw any of these brain dumps out. I save them and I'll review them from time to time if I'm looking for inspiration. Even if I don't use an idea like this year or this month, it might become relevant in the future, which is why I say that there's like no bad ideas, right? Write everything down and keep these lists because you never know when you're going to need the information. Also, you might be wondering how often I do these brain dumps. So for the purposes of goal setting and my annual business planning process, I will try and do one big brain dump session before I set my goals. But I also like to do a brain dump like this at the end or the start of a new month, just to get out any extra ideas that might be useful for my upcoming plans. So that is the first tool and the first process that I use for my annual business goal setting and planning system. The second process and tool I use to plan my business is my CEO Retreat workshop series and the accompanying workbooks. The CEO Retreat is my business goal setting and planning process broken into 2 workshops. The first workshop is the annual review, where I will look back at the year that is ending and gather and analyze data and trends. And the second workshop is where I actually set my business goals and break them down into the objectives and plans that I want to execute on for the new year. This includes setting revenue goals for my business. And I know that a lot of people have a hard time setting revenue goals because they think that it's just making a guess. But in my CEO Retreat, there is a formula I use to understand how to reverse engineer a revenue goal that includes my different offers, their revenue, and the leads I'll need to target so that I can choose campaigns and projects that will help me hit the revenue goal. Now, some people think that because I have my business plans laid out for the year ahead, this means I have complete step-by-step action plans made before the year begins for every single thing I'm going to do in my business. But that is not what I do. I choose my goals. I decide all the different projects and campaigns that I want to do to make the goal happen. And then I assign those elements to specific months of the year that they belong to. So walking into the new year, I will know my marketing or my promotion calendar for the year in terms of which offers I'll be promoting, which campaigns I'll be running, which funnels I might be building, but I won't have that step-by-step plan actually written out yet. I work on those a quarter at a time. So same with my content or my editorial calendar. I aim to have a quarter of content planned out so that I know what I want to post on schedule, and then I can bulk process the content on a weekly or monthly basis for each platform. Now, for example, I know at the start of this year, that in July, I will be launching my 2026 planners. I feel so weird to say that, 2026 planners, because I always launch my new planners in July. But I won't create the project plans for that work or the campaign for the marketing until my Q2 planning session. And then I will start doing the work in June. Same with the annual holiday sale. This is always in November, but I won't go in depth on my action plan until I sit down to plan Q4, and then I will show up to do the work in November. So I always know what I'm working on for each month, but I don't create a detailed plan for it until I get to the quarter the work needs to be done in. And that helps me to also use inspired action in my planning, because if I pre-planned a project down to each task for each month in advance, that plan won't be as inspired and creative as if I make the plan once the work is imminent. So maybe it's different for you, but I become more creative and get more hits of genius when it's time for me to turn my attention fully to a project. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't get strokes of genius or divine inspiration for things ahead of time. I do. That does happen to me as well. But when that happens, I will just brain dump out all of the ideas and then file them away to review when I work on finalizing the plan for the project. So that is tool and process number 2, the CEO retreat, my business goal setting and planning system. Now, the third and final process and tool I use to plan my business is the CEO strategy planner. This is my set of dedicated business planning inserts. It comes as a set of print-on-demand inserts and also as a digital planning PDF, both of which are undated, which means I just kind of recycle the planner year after year. So this is where all of the plans that I lay out during the CEO retreat will live. This is where I'll keep those notes on the ideas I have for future projects. This is where I organize my content ideas and break them down and track them. It's where I map out my campaigns and keep my financial information. Something I want to point out is that the CEO strategy planner isn't meant to replace your normal planner. The planner has inserts for yearly, quarterly, and monthly business planning, but it doesn't go into weeks and days because it's meant to be used in conjunction with your normal planner, where you'll be able to integrate your business plans with other plans for your life and goals. It just happens to be the place where I have more space to break down and ideate for my business, and it has specific inserts meant for different aspects of your business that a traditional planner does not have. So, to recap, the 3 tools and processes that I use to plan my business are, number 1, the CEO business brain dump triggers list, right? To capture ideas and information that can be turned into business plans. Number 2 is the CEO retreat workshops. This is my step-by-step system to set my business goals and break them down into plans for the year. And then number 3 is the CEO strategy planner. This is actually the tool I use to house and organize all of my business plans for the year. Now, all 3 of these tools are in my shop if you want to grab them and use them to make your business plans for the new year. Remember, the business brain dump is free. That will be linked down below for you to download. That is step 1 of this business planning process. And in addition, I've put together a bundle for you of the CEO retreat and the CEO strategy planner if you want to get in steps 2 and 3 in my process for a discount. I will leave you the link to that down below as well. So I hope this video explained why you should be setting goals for your business and business planning for the year ahead, and gave you a nice overview of my process, including step 1 that you can start right now for free. If this video is helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with anyone else you think would find it interesting. If you have any questions about the process, feel free to let me know down in the comments. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye!